Accountants refer to a company as a going concern when it has the financial means to continue turning a profit and survive for the foreseeable future. In investing, this presumption could be exaggerated even though it is helpful for accounting procedures. We tend to believe that successful businesses will last for a very long time, and there are undoubtedly some of these businesses out there. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is about good companies should not last forever. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Smith, Johnson, Coca-Cola, and General Electric have operated for over a century and still treat us as their firm. You can find much older companies if you research the history of corporate mergers to the beginning of them. J.P. Morgan Chase is a modern bank created through several bank mergers over 3 centuries, with the first constituent bank dating back to 1799. Even if you would be quite wealthy now if you had made early investments in any of these companies, you would also be extremely deceased, which significantly lessens the appeal of this investing approach. According to recent industry research, one of the investor's biggest errors is overestimating a company's lifetime. And it's simple to understand why, given how frequently individuals like Warren Buffett discuss how much $5 invested in Coca-Cola would be worth today. It's essential to understand how money functions to understand why enterprises with a long lifespan are not always the fantastic investments they first appear to be. Morning Brew is responsible for bringing you this week's lesson. Morning Brew is a free email newsletter that entertainingly presents important news. Because it offers me the news I need to know and does so intelligently, Morning Brew has rapidly become one of the first things I read when I get up. There are articles on various subjects, including jobs, real estate, the world, news, politics, education, and finances. I just found a story about how paper shortages can pose a risk to U.S. democracy to be interesting. I guess, sort of. The election officials are worried that they may run out of paper since there is a paper shortage and elections are about to occur. I strongly advise subscribing to Morning Brew if you want to read tales like these and many more. Utilize the sign-up link below to learn how much more educated your day can be by beginning with Morning Brew. The oldest companies in the world are not particularly prosperous financially. Most of them are modest family-run businesses from Europe and Japan that have existed without interruption for hundreds of years without ever expanding or taking significant risks. How come you did that? The Tragic Tale of Congo Gummy is a cautionary tale for investors who focus too much on a company's longevity, the fallacy of the hot hand. The hot hand fallacy is a psychological tendency that causes people to detect absent patterns. You're insane. You are the son of a crazy man. If a basketball player is making free throw after free throw without missing, someone who believes in the hot hand fallacy would assume that the shooter will always make their next attempt, even though the likelihood of that happening depends entirely on their prior performance. This is a typical mistake. However, their shot history is exactly that history, which reminds me that you should all go and subscribe to How History Works. The odds are determined by the player's skill and how far back they are standing. The hot hand fallacy is investors' most common and least understood error. Most investments even include a disclaimer that informs investors that past success is no guarantee of future outcomes. A company that has been in operation for 100 years is just as likely to fail as one that has been operating for only 10 years. Their past is meaningless if all other business basics are the same, like the basketball player. In terms of brand recognition, an established client base, and operational stability, older businesses have some benefits over newer ones. However, these barriers have the same power to enclose a company as they do to protect it from rivals. Investors should evaluate each company's performance individually. It is not sufficient to assume that a company will be in operation for another 100 years simply because it has been in operation for 100 years. Even if ongoing operations were guaranteed, even so, it isn't always a wise investment on its own. All organizations follow the business life cycle. After a company is established, it faces difficulties attracting its initial investors and clients. If it can do that, it grows quickly before reaching a plateau. After reaching all possible clients, it can From then, it can either introduce a new product to help its business expand once more or experience a decline and eventually shut down. The plateau phase may theoretically go on indefinitely. The majority of the oldest enterprises in the world are quite small. Thus, there was little pressure to expand because they didn't take on debt or outside investors who demanded steady investment returns. Facebook, I apologize. Meta is currently at the culmination of this cycle. They were established, developed into the biggest social media corporation in the world, and are now just out of new users for their platform. As a result, their businesses began to stagnate. I believe Facebook has realized, or has Meta realized, that it cannot determine its future. Because content creators leave it to create material on TikTok and take their fandoms with them, it doesn't own that content. Instead of sinking and starting the process of becoming the next MySpace Meta, Zuck wants his company to expand once more. The metaverse is a brand new product that hasn't been a big hit thus far. But at least the attempt to stay on the right side of the firm life cycle is visible to investors. What Zuck and other seasoned business owners like him took much too long to realize, however, is that there is a benefit to a company dying with dignity and that there are times when it is not worthwhile to chase bad actors like Zuckerberg and managers who are hemming. Companies that depend on innovation to thrive may find themselves in a situation where their interests conflict with their shareholders. The world's largest personal information store is run by Mark Zuckerberg, who wants to remain in that position. Investors just want to profit as much as they can. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.